Yes, I know, irrational bowel syndrome. It's a pretty devastating thing. The movie will start in... Let me get the right key. Movie will start in 3, 2, 1, go. Excuse me. Alright, so... Yes, Doom. All these title screen edits here were done by MetroidMst, actually. He decided he wanted to offer his services for stuff. After he decided he, again, could not finish a hack for a contest. Which I'm still very disappointed in MetroidMst. So, yes, the font is kind of weird. It's supposed to say part 4 at the bottom. Because there's 5 little hacks, but only 4 really deal with Shaktools. That's supposed to be IV, not KV, but the font, I don't even know what MetroidMst was doing there. Like, what in the world? That's not 4. Anyway. So yes, thank you to MetroidMst for that. And we're on a bubble deep in the Shakazan Brain Forest. So you can already see the new HUD and stuff, but you also get these little wavy things. This is supposed to sort of be the pollen that's floating around. So, yeah. It's kind of what it's supposed to be. And you got woody things. Trees. There's trees and forests. And future tiles. And plants and stuff. Oh, and music. All the music was actually made by MetaQuarius. You can also see, as soon as you load a new room, that song is not actually made in Super yet, so... but as soon as you load a new room, you get room names through them all right now. So, obviously, right now in Cliff Bagoo, because... Zelda 2 reference. And this here is something I thought players would end up being drawn to. Like, when I was making this, I was like, oh, I need some sort of blockade, so they have to get Morph Ball. That's easy to do, just make a Morph Tunnel. As it turns out, nobody in the history of the universe decided to come up here after getting Morph Ball. So, yeah, good job. But Cliff Bagoo is a rather tall room filled with things. And basically right now you're blocked from doing everything by Morph Tunnels, Bomb Blocks, and Missile Doors. Thank you. And then, of course, I had to get bubbles in here. And this room, I actually named it Deja Bubbles on purpose because of this. I got this idea from Phazon Hack. It's like, oh, people might say that looks familiar. And I did base off Phazon Hack, so I thought, you know, maybe people would actually be like, oh, that makes sense, but actually, no. I think only one person caught that. And there's a thing there. I saw that. And your first boss is Lettuce Tool. They're lettuce leaves with Shaktool gears. It's also where I start my demonstration of Black Falcon's chain block PLMs. Because that takes care of the whole thing there. You can also really cheese this boss, and yes, this is Castlevania music. But if you line these guys up right, you can do that, and they aren't a problem. But they are let us leave, so. And for that, you don't get Morph Ball, you get Doom Launchers, which are missiles. And missiles give you 20 for every pack. So that's a thing. Yes, Doom Launcher. Crash is not here to enjoy that. I mean, there's... The missiles give you access to more places like Pollen Pass, which Dopey spent forever, and I should have named that room for Dopey. And this is a rail cache, which I can't actually do anything in here yet. Okay, so here's basically how I was expecting this to go. People would get Doom Launchers. They have to come up here, because there's nothing else they can do down there. So I have to climb this Tower of Amazing. Get back over here. And then if they didn't explore up here, I figured, you know what? They would probably explore up here. Like, at some point, they will come up here, and then they will want to know what's up here. But that's... I still don't know why people don't play the game like you expect them to. The Doom Launchers do allow you to come over here and open this door. There's another pack up there you can't get yet. And the container yard. And here is where people really went astray. Morph Ball is literally right here. You just saw it. It's literally right down there. Nothing blocking it. Everybody, I mean everybody, went over here first. Like, oh, let's get this item that I know is down there. Either they didn't even check or see it, or I don't know. Somehow they missed everything and went up here. Which is possible, but that's technically sequence breaking. You're also more likely to get murdered by things. You go left, right on top of the ship, though, Lino. You already took care of that. So coming back over here, stop hitting my microphone. You get Morph Ball. And then you go through there. There was a thing up here as well. This little hint is like, oh, there's a thing here. So you can get more energy and more Doom Launchers. However, there's one spot in the wall right there with 2 giant bubbles. Which is another thing. So there's more items there. Your beam goes through that. The enemies will go through this as well. It's like, oh, what's here? It's an energy tank off screen you collect. So there you go. That is one of a couple items I hid kind of well. And then, in this room state changed. I figured, let's add an item in here. So there you go. Item for that. Get another Doom Launcher hidden up there. So after you do that, or you're supposed to do something similar to that, which no one actually did because they're silly. Yes, bro. The idea was, people would be like, oh, Morph Ball, I can go up here. There's an energy tank. That's how I always do my things, Meep. Secrets everywhere. And across here we have another Doom launcher just out in the open. I figured if people were bad, they might need things. Also, Fear 2032. I have no idea what that's in reference to. There's a thing in the wall here, sort of little indentations. It's like, oh, that's a thing too. And back here, got a couple more items. And there's, good job. There's some more items in here. I'm not going to worry about them quite yet because I can't get one of them. Also, save is suspicious. This save is actually there for multiple reasons. And if you run across, you can collect this Doom launcher the first time through. And the candle crane. And Torizo is very simple. Yeah, that is Bomb Torizo. His health was not changed because the beam damages were changed. Beams are practically useless. So your missiles and the stuff you get. Hello, Oscar. These here, the Shaktool repellent, which are bombs, and you can't infinite bomb jump, and you can't wall jump either. The Shaktool repellent and missiles both deal 100 damage. Power beam I think deals 3 damage, maybe it's 2 damage. I think the other beams all deal 5. Plasma might deal a little more. I don't know. Not in this game, it's not spelled like that. Yes, with this, you go like, oh, hey, we're back here. So you get this all fun stuff. There is more secrets here, though. There was obviously something else up there. We can't do anything with that yet. If you look down here, there's an energy supply hanging out there. There's this nice little spot under the ship. So you can get it like that. And now, this is the appropriate time for people to go back here, instead of 5 hours earlier when they decided to. And Esper vibes. Like, for those who are watching this later, or whatever, the IRC channel is hosted on Esper. And at the time, it was having some issues when I was naming this room, so, yeah. There's another Doom launcher. There's actually one right up in here as well. Can't shoot through that one, though. Also, that wouldn't be possible. They would... One pass would not be able to do that. Yes, bubbles. And then this room is a bubbly safe. We get these weird looking things here that glow. There's another energy supply back there, but can't quite reach it. Because whatever that's in the way. Which we will be dealing with very shortly. But first, here, and the wall, which leads to charge beam. And now you can see what that bar is for. It's a charge bar. which it was going to be more useful earlier on in development because I was going to use the Excel charge items. However, that did not pan out because the Excel charge items completely broke the hack, so yeah. So a charge bar would make more sense than that, so you could like, oh hey, this is actually doing something. Falcon Depot. This is named after one of my testers. And the person who did probably the most ASM work, the assembly work on this was Black Falcon. So he got a room named after him. Also, in fact, I will show this off. And this is actually thanks to Smiley. These safe stations are Uber safe stations because they refill your energy and ammo. So I'm completely full now. And we've got our first Shaktool, really Shaktool thing, since it's not a lettuce tool. And the floor just breaks under you. So yes, I went a little tame with the Rinkas. Oh, there he is. So that was Hyper Tool. And then you just fall through here. No. Excuse me. I do want to mention I built things because that is clearly not a boss. The lettuce tool is clearly not a boss, at least in terms of the original game. They're bosses in this, but in the original game, they weren't bosses at all. So, for instance, you already saw, like the lettuce tools room. You already saw that room state change. There was no lettuce tool when I went back in there. There was an item up in the leaves. So that changed. That one was simple because all it needed was, like, a room state thing that was already in the game. I believe it was Zeebs is Awake, or whatever. So, basically what sets that room state is you collect, or you open a gray door. And then that room state gets set. So, the first gray door you open is in Lettuce Tool's room, so I could just use that room state, be done with it. Nothing else had to be done. That was simple. You fall down and fall through these crumble blocks, so you can't go back in there, because if you did, that boss would still be there. Even after collecting this item here, Ice Beam of course, that boss is still there. DSO actually wrote some code that sets the boss statue in the original game, the golden statues. There's an event for each one turning gray, and I ended up using all 4 of them, and DSO's code sets that. Actually, bro, do you remember, since you're here, do you remember which boss this one sets? This one, I believe, is Phantoon? Whatever. It's one, I know it's not Kraid. That's the only one I'm not sure. I do know which one's Kraid. But this sets one boss. Yeah, that's true. So basically, I stuck some BTS. You collect an item, it checks the bit, and then if you have that bit when you touch this BTS, it sets the room state. So there's these 2 tiles right here that you absolutely have to pass through, have these BTS values. So now that I jump through that, that room state is set. Hyper Tool will no longer be there. That is a great piece of ASM, and in fact, I think that's one that I didn't actually mean to do that, but well. But that's one I'll probably be releasing publicly, because that's pretty amazing. So yeah, that room stayed set. As you can see, freezing things causes them to fall, and so I tried to use this to teach the players, like, oh hey, this is what this is used for. So you actually get 2 items for defeating that boss. And now that you have Ice Beam, you can use that to break through this wall and get this item. Yes, mini boss statue. However, I'm not a dirty cheater. Now, that I actually knew about getting that item early, but my at least one tester really wanted me to keep that in, so I said, okay, we'll just keep it in. So we are actually done over there for the time being. Now, we've got... Thank you for that. We can get through this. And if you checked before you did Hyper Tool, you would see this. Hyper Tool, obviously, the room after him, you freeze the guy to get out. It's kind of telling you, oh, there was a... If you came here, you would have seen this, and then hopefully made the connection that, oh, I could freeze that guy and get through this now. That's kind of what I was hoping for. Also, Frenzy. That's a room. And we have a toolbox. Oh, also want to point out, I have a couple beams now. By pressing item cancel, I'm switching between the beams. So, yeah. Something I might also want to do for, like, the final release version is have the beam highlighted when you're not on your missiles or grapple. I might end up having that done because that's kind of something that might be good. So, Frenzy. This was named after a Donkey Kong Country level. Because reasons, I really don't know why. And then this one is Dope Pass. It's named after Dopey for reasons. But here we have more of these weird tiles that I've already shown, or tried to teach the player that, hey, these break from enemies. I have seen people trying to lure these shack hoppers into here, which is interesting, but it never works, and it's not supposed to work that way. However, I can't get everything back there, so I'm not going to worry about it yet. But you can just roll underneath these guys. It's a spot on the floor there. Another Doom launcher. And then this room is the Eris callback because it does the weird scrolling thing. Those are always interesting rooms. And then a Veggie Patch, which is the only room in this hack to use where's the name? Those enemies. Those little criteria bugs. I thought I would use them more, but I really didn't. And I thought this might be a little more obvious. These platforms are always supported by these support structures. And you could kind of see the support structures going down. So it's like, oh, there's places here. But I guess that wasn't that obvious, actually. And can't do anything quite yet because we don't have Grapple. I wonder what item we could be getting next. And then save I. I have like 3 save rooms with letters after them. The letters don't mean anything. They're just to differentiate the save rooms. And then this wonderful boss, the Shell Shack. When he decides to show up. There he is. This is the one boss I decided to actually increase the health for. Originally, it was 25 missiles / doom launchers. It's now 35. But that's it for the boss. Yes, it's one of those wretched ghosts. And now we are in the Epi prison. With Epi in the background. Yes, Meep, I know I saw you stop at that boss. And then we have the Epi Zapper Beam. Because Grapple. And right now I am currently touching that same BTS block that I touched after Ice Beam. So that when you go back through that door, the boss won't be there. If you beat the boss, you come out on this ledge and turn right back around, the boss will be back. So, yeah, be careful about that. I don't know why people would want to do that, but yeah. But basically, you got this row of BTS blocks surrounding this Chozo statue, so you grab the item, you absolutely have to touch it. No, Leno, I rip Epi about Grapple a lot more than I rip you about it. And then back here, just another little hidden item. And the reason the story mentioned changing physics in very specific situations, you're grappling as if you're underwater. The reason for that is because in this whole hack, you are literally underwater. These pollen things floating around, this is water. I redrew the stuff and made weird things like this. It's all water. So, I changed the gravity of water, supposedly, to match gravity out of water. Did not change the grapple physics whatsoever. I don't even. So yeah, that was a thing. And we're in our new room state. This floor no longer breaks. No more Rinkas, no more boss. And now that we have Grapple, we can clean up what's back here. Which is quite a bit. So there's that, but there's also a Doom Launcher hiding behind it. Also plenty of these shack hoppers. So you see, I tried to use those chain PLMs quite a lot. Because I really like them. They should be used more. And I made a little passage there. Now this is the way out. I'm not too worried about that right now, because I have to fall down here to collect all the items back here. So, this room, it's called MetroidMst because this was the one room that I forgot to put a room name in when they tested it initially, so Visman pointed that out and he got the room named after himself. And then over here's another energy supply. Yeah, trust me, that makes more sense. And smile. now we got some more items back here to get. Moving one back here. Here is just another energy tank out in the open. I tried to leave enough items out in the open, so if you collect stuff, the bosses should be relatively simple and easy. But if you don't look around, you're not going to find these items, and obviously they're going to be much harder. So, the way to break that wall of bubbles over there, and there's a reason there's so many Shaktools right here, because I was hoping the player would jump around. Because if you jump, you will activate. You'll get within the activation range of this boulder, shaped like a Shaktool, of course, and it will roll through. Yes, I guess that is sort of A.N.T.I redesign. But that will get rid of this barrier for you. Which gets us to the Quote Zach. And Quote is the one who made the HUD, so got a room after himself. And for all your troubles here, get to the wooden bridge, which is sort of a reference to Wood Beam, as you get Spazer back here. Spazer is the most useful beam in this hack, because it has a rapid fire rate. It's also, in terms of beams, has the highest damage. It's tied for the highest, I believe. Plasma might actually be a bit higher, but you can't fire it nearly as rapidly, so it's not. It's actually worse to use that. However, Wood Beam is a really old joke. There is another secret in here, because if you notice this floor, there's always these alternating lights, except for this spot. And somebody completely found this by accident, but yeah, that's a hidden passage. And for finding this hidden passage, there's an energy supply, and a Doom Launcher, and a Shade Cove. And now, there's one item to get to. Hey, at least there was a hint for that, Leno. There's, an item. Oh, okay. There's one more item back here, which is what this is for. We shall see if I can get this, because this is one of the items when I play this myself, when I was testing. This is the one I had the most trouble with. There's another energy supply up here. There's basically just a bunch of spikes down below if you fall down, so try not to fall down. So now we've cleaned up all the items down here. Which also brings up the most difficult grapple section in the game, which it was not designed to be difficult. It just is for reasons I don't even know. At least for me. Also, yeah, you can still see, this is basically your best beam. Your missiles, or Doom Launchers rather, are definitely your better option. And this, I don't know what it is. When I was testing this room was just, this grapple segment was the worst. And it's not difficult. Although my testers did have me lower this platform because it was the same height as this. But it got lowered. And with all that done, there's nothing else left to do there. Grapple opens up this place. No. So now we can get through Pollen Pass. Like when I made this, a lot of I thought that item progression flowed really well between with the rooms and stuff. Watching other people play it, they're either bad or this doesn't flow that well. No. I'm not getting that. Save F. Saves are always around bosses, which is through the right door. However, we have a foliage grove. Let's see if I could just randomly get rid of some of these guys. Wow. Well, I hurt one more. And I could waste a bunch of messages because the save's right there, so I'll just refill me. And this is probably the hardest grapple bit in the game. Although this is not required. This is purely for item collections. And then I don't think I saw anybody get this, but there's a very suspicious fence right there. And it's suspicious for a reason. So yeah, I don't remember seeing anybody get that. Also, watch me fall through that door. Good job. Yes, I made the grapple a little harder in this room, and up here, some platforming. A little bit more difficult because this is just an item room. You don't really need anything back here. There's another Doom Launcher item there. So yeah, there's just those 4 items in this room, no more. Now we've got that all filled out. And then we get to this boss. It's the Tool Blade, which makes very, very interesting noises. And these are Metroids. They're obviously resprited with Shaktool stuff. So when they blow up, they still sort of look like they're there. What that is if you've ever played around with the Metroids before, you put them in anything where you just kind of destroyed them without freezing them, this is what happens. Their shells just sort of stay over or whatever. Now, the boss is actually all done. Those actually only take 25 missiles each. This is the hardest part if you don't have Spacer or Charge Beam, because the Rinkas will snipe you in the air trying to get out. And then you just fall into Crash LOL because Crash made double jump. And then there's a row of BTS all around here, which you have to touch after collecting the items, so now the room stays set so you don't have to fight that boss again. And now you have double jump, which is an amazing item. I really like the no infinite bomb jumping and no wall jumping and smaller hacks, whatever, especially when combined with double jump, because it makes platforming much more of a focus. Like, if you miss a thing, you can't just like, oh, I can wall jump back up. No, you actually have to get it. Double jump makes it a lot safer, obviously, so. Also, yes, the pause thing. The pause thing will be fixed in the final version. It already is fixed. I just have some more things to clean up. But now that we have double jump, we can actually go to the Realm Cache here and collect the items. That wall is simply for the chain block PLM. Same with this one. There's an energy tank back there. Doom launcher here. There's another doom launcher there. There's nothing in this pit. This is just something to look at when you realize that, oh, you can't actually do this without double jump. So that's that. Back here is all cleaned up now. You won't have to come back here unless you're dopey. And that leads us to our next place, which is right over here, which you could also get to earlier, the Hall of Snarf. You couldn't do anything though because of this wall. You need double jump to get past it. However, not quite going past it right yet. This spike is supposed to be very suspicious. It's a lone spike in this room. It's just kind of a random thing. That is because it's not a real spike. The doom launcher. I am really proud of that hidden spot, and a lot more people found that than I thought they would. Also, this is one item I did not hint to at all, but there's a thing back here. Takes you to a realistic edge, and there's an energy tank hiding here. I like that room. Gotta make people look for things. And then there's this funny looking thing, which leads to another energy tank. Terminal fall. And then we get Save K. This is before the actual Shaktool, which this was made for fear. And just sort of adapted a little bit for this hack. I love this thing. This thing is great. It just slowly shoots things at you. your beam is kind of worthless, so if you just shoot it with your beam, it takes a long time like this. And it's like, oh, no, it's dead. And if you had any damage or missiles gone, they would appear. But it decides to come back. And then it does Shaktool things, and you basically just blow Shaktool pieces off. But by doing so, every piece you explode, it gets faster. And then you only damage it when you hit non-exploded pieces, so it becomes harder to hit. It is... it's a silly boss, but it's quite amazing, I think. And then, yeah, it does that. So it lets you get up here. It's an energy supply. And then you get out. Now, the reason I don't have any items or BTS you touch to set the room stay on there is because this was made for fear. That boss actually sets the main boss bit of the sub map, of the sub area it's in. So you go back in, you already defeated it, it's gone. So, yeah. So because of that, I was able to stick to these other, using the 4 statue things. And then this room, the think tank. I am very proud of this room. Because it's a tank. And if you think about it, it doesn't make sense. Because all these guys are just bouncing around in here. The reason I am proud of this is because all these inside tiles that it's bouncing off of, since it's not actually touching these edge tiles here, they're all copying. They're all using like vertical and horizontal properties and copying each other all the way through, all the way up to the top. And they're all copying the tile that has the PLM. So when you click the PLM, they're now copying air. So because it's copying air, they're just regular air tiles, they break out of the tank. I am just like super proud of this for no reason. It's I love this room. So you get your new item, these guys suddenly break out. And the reason they are moving off screen is because if they weren't, when you get here, the whole tank would not be destroyed when they break out. Like, they have to actually bounce around a few times for the whole tank to be destroyed. So, we got Boost Ball, but it's a little bit different. You can use it to climb things, climb up walls, which is a feature that I use in a few spots. It has another feature, and that it damages, Boost Ball damages enemies. And that's not a feature a lot of people are aware of. I didn't actually mention it anywhere, so. But Boost Ball deals quite a lot of damage to enemies, so it's a very useful thing against a certain boss. Although some people have actually discovered the other sort of hidden weakness. I'm not quite going to go straight to making progress though, because we now have more items to collect. And I am quite happy. No, not while climbing walls. Your boost is technically dead at that point when you're climbing. Oh, it also comes with Spring Ball. But yeah, there's a thing under here. Doom Launcher. And another Doom Launcher. Which you can't get right away because you can't shoot through this block. So you need bombs or wave beam. And at this point, actually, at the point I got double jump, I could go beat the game. I'm not quite going to do that right now. That's the estimate right now. So up here, on this wonderful thing, you can just bounce around through these things. And doing that gets you to the Geordie Cache, who was another tester, and he helped out with some room states, which unfortunately his thing did not end up working for me. Because it also broke the game, so. But I got the room state, thanks for your help. And this is Plasma Beam. So I have everything but Wave Beam. And Plasma is actually, Spazer overall is the better beam. However, Plasma is better for the boss coming next. Which again, we're not going straight to. I also can't seem to just go. I is good. Although, you don't even need Grapple. Just collect it like that. There is your last beam. You could see this really early on in the game. Wave Beam is not normally something that is withheld from the player till the end. It's not normally like a major. Well, I do know it is actually kind of often used as sort of like a major, like you need this item to advance thing. It's not normally so late in the hack though, so I was actually kind of happy with my item progression in this. I thought it was slightly different, slightly unusual, kind of keeps you guessing, goes along with the mystery theme. And then this just lets us go over rooms we've already been in. It's kind of fusion-esque like that, I guess. But this lets us get over here. That room is named LOL Oops for a reason, which we'll see later. But you could freeze this guy. And get the Shack Shield, which is Screw Attack. Which is a very useful thing to have for this boss. I really do love this boss. It is the greatest thing. So, but this gets us to the Ginger Jump. And actually it deals a lot of damage. It just doesn't do it in large chunks. Screw Attack deals 5 damage per frame. So if you're in an enemy for a second, and I missed it. There's a thing on the wall there. With items. Now this is how I always do my screw attacks. They will never just outright kill enemies. They deal damage while you're in their hitbox. But that's it. Oh yeah, I could climb the wall with Boost Ball. Or Rocket Ball. How about that? But this is the storage joint. Basically. Screw Attack actually deals a greater amount of damage than missiles. in terms of time. And here we have a dank meme. I don't remember why I named this room was. I might have seen something on the internet or something when I named this room. But you can roll through here into a quantum leaf and get this energy supply. Because I like rooms like that. And back here, we have a gear hall, which you can just pass through this wall. Which takes us to another item room. There are lots of items in this area. And this hack in general. Also, I'd like to point out 520 missiles is, or doom launchers rather, is the max. Yes, that is the number of the cell. I thought it sounded spacey. To go with the future theme. And we have the DSO membrane. Because why not? So you can climb that. Well, my testers made me put the save in. It's probably a good idea. Which takes us to a lot of Shaktools. Because this is Monstool Mesh, and Monstool is the greatest thing in history. So these things each take 25 missiles each, if I remember correctly. I don't think these were 35, I think these were just 25. There's a lot of them in various patterns. These are basically the hyper tools, just obviously much bigger, and they shake the ground when they hit the floor and the ceiling. This thing is amazing. However, while you could do it like this, you also have Boost Ball, or Rocket Ball, which deals a lot more damage. Although some of them are definitely harder to hit. Unlike me, I appear to be quite easy to hit. Come here, you. And you could destroy them with that. There's also the cheat feature. You know, that's actually not a bad idea, though. But yes, you can... For the people who are intrepid enough to try new things, you could cheat out this boss. But not many people found this, because people don't like turning things. No, plasma's not their weakness. Plasma is more useful for this room, because if you're firing your beam with the Rinkas, it will help get rid of the Rinkas as well. Because these guys will bounce around and snipe your beam sometimes. Plasma will just cut through and still destroy the Rinka. So... So if you're trying for low percent, Actually, if you're trying for low percent, you wouldn't come for this boss because you don't need to fight this boss. In fact, I think I'll probably end up taking the grapple thing out for the final version. I don't know. We'll see. And they're all gone, so you can just get out and leave. This time, the door just locks behind you because Wave Beam is the item that sets the new room state. I mean, yeah, I guess that could work too. But yeah, that door locks behind you because you could enter right back in there and Monster would still be there. Also, well, oops, because this is the same room as the room before the Shack Shield. Yeah. And we're back in the container yard. We have Wave Beam. And there's a row of BTS here, row of BTS here. So now touch them, the room state set, Monster is no longer there. So if you go back, that's no longer a problem. And now, I believe... No, there's no way. So now I believe I have everything. I know I have all the Doom launchers. Not 100% sure on the energy, but I'm pretty sure I've collected everything, so we'll see. But with this Wave Beam, this room now becomes our advancement, because if you check out this room after getting double and grapple, because with those you can get up here, you will find the Wave Beam barrier, which actually does not even need Wave Beam to open, which that will change in the final. That was an overlook that I forgot. You can actually open that up with Spazer. But that's the final barrier, really. And then you just rocket ball through those to get rid of them to open up the final boss, which Black Falcon did, and is quite amazing. Ridley just sort of destroys the floor, and then you fall forever. Nope, no super missiles. And then people are bad at this because, quite frankly, it is a very unusual thing when you first do it. It's really not difficult, but I understand people have trouble with this, and I get that. It's not worth it changing, though, because this is amazing. Also, the best thing. Come on, Ridley. Firing down. The missiles fall behind you, and then rocket past in front of you. It's great. Look at this. Physics, people. This is how it works. But yeah. If you angle up, you're practically guaranteed not to hit him. You're basically shooting horizontally to hit him up top. You're angling down to hit him at the bottom-ish, or you're aiming down. And then I kept this as is because this is amazing. This is Glitch Fest. And it's suddenly 2 ships. I love that. I don't know why, but I love that. And that's the end of So Little Garden. Yeah, playing it was definitely something different. And then, of course, a message for all the haters out there. And the greatest Mode 7 edit in history. The giant smiley. I love this thing. It's so happy. Yeah, that is So Little Garden. Got some things to fix. I will. I'm like halfway done. World record. I don't know about that. Yeah, I have some things to fix. Pause screen thing's done. There was a scroll error. This wasn't really a scroll error, but it kind of was. That's fixed. The one stool grapple thing. After people discover it, I kind of want them to not be able to do that, so I'll probably change that. No, I don't use non-plants. Those things are awful. I refuse. But yeah, otherwise, this was mostly finished up properly. Your nemesis, bro, really? Is it because he didn't use DSPC? And I did not use Jathy's credit sheet because I've looked at it twice, and both times I had no idea what I was looking at, so I didn't bother. Which is... NSPC is terribly bloated. Is it? No, bro. You should just do like Tataka's theme so I could hide it somewhere in this hack. This is also something else I might change. I might change the stuff in common. Oh. I might change the timer you have to beat in order to get the good ending. I might do that. And can I play my own hack? Yes, okay. So yeah, 100%. That was So Little Garden. It is a thing.